We're going to make chocolate cookie bars. So let's get started. First, you're going to need at least a 13 by 9 pan. It can be made of glass, it can be a metal pan, whatever that you prefer. You're going to need 1½ cups of graham crackers, which you need to have all chopped up. I went ahead and put them in my blender. You can put them in your processor, or you can put them in a plastic bag and just keep hitting them till they're all crushed. But you need 1½ cups of that. Now this particular recipe, I changed it up a little bit. It's not the traditional. If you don't like this, then you can check out the traditional recipe. But I have 3 tablespoons of granulated sugar that I put in my graham crackers, and I just go ahead and I mix that up, and I'm just going to mix it up with my clean hands that I just washed. Next, you're going to need actually a ½ cup of butter that's melted and cooled. Of course, you could use margarine if you want to also, and put that in. What you're going to do is you're really making a crust. With my fork, I'm just going to start bringing all that butter into the sugar and into the graham crackers to make a crust. Now once I do that, then I'm just going to pat it in the bottom of it to make a crust. So I'm going to use my hands again and just bring in all this together. Try to do it quickly for you and mix it all together. And then once I do that, then I'm going to spread it around, and then I'm going to just pat it into place to make a crust from one end to the other. If you have a couple pieces of graham crackers that didn't crush well, just pull those out. And just pat that down the best you can to form a crust all the way around. It doesn't have to be perfect, but you want to try to get it in place for it to be the base of the cookie bars. Now once you do that, and it'll look like this, you're going to need chocolate chips, of course. And you're going to need 2 cups of these. And what you're going to do is you're just going to sprinkle them as evenly as possible all over your crust. You want to try to put them out evenly so they get fair shared all the way around. And that was 2 cups of your chocolate chips. Or it could be any other flavor that you like. Any type of chips that you like. And then just take your hand and just start patting it down into the crust, pressing it in all over the top. Next, you're going to need coconut, shredded coconut. And what you're going to need is 1 1/3 cup. Now with this recipe, you can really add a little bit, you can take a little away, that type of thing. It still will come out really good. So again, just take this real quickly, put it all over the top, and again, press it down into everything with the palms of your hands, and just press that down. Next, you're going to need some type of a nut. I'm using crushed peanuts because that's how I make my recipe, but walnuts are traditional. But you're going to need 1 cup of chopped or crushed nuts. It's really up to you. I like to crush them because it just comes out and looks a little bit prettier, but you can just chop them if you don't want to crush them. And again, the same thing applies. If you want to put a little less nuts, go ahead, or you can use the whole thing. I've chosen not to use quite all the nuts because it's covered quite nicely. So I'll use these for another recipe at another time. Then again, just press it down with your hands so it becomes all like one piece. And then you're going to need a can of sweetened condensed milk. And of course, this is not evaporated milk, I'm sorry, for pumpkin pies. This is sweetened milk. And what I do is I just start pouring it onto the top. I go from side to side, trying to cover everything up with it. Then I like to use a knife and just start pouring it over the spots that I missed. You can use your knife a little bit if you prefer. And I cover it all. Now you're going to put your oven on at 350 degrees, and it generally takes about a half an hour. But check your oven, because some do set up faster. In fact, a batch I made only took me 20 minutes in my oven. So start checking it after about 15 to 20 minutes. But traditionally, it probably takes about 30 minutes. Now, once you use all that sweetened milk out of your 14-ounce can, just trying to get the last bit of it. It will look like this. Again, you're going to put it in your oven at 350, and it can be anywhere from 20 to 30 minutes in your oven. Now, once it comes out, I made one ahead of time, it will look like this. Again, I put the milk on top. I don't really follow the traditional recipe, but it really comes out really good. So give it a try. Hope you like this recipe. Thanks for watching, and please subscribe to my channel.